Well, hell. Welcome back to Tech Travel and Twang. Well, hey there. Welcome back to Tech Travel and Twang. I'm your host, Jen Barbie, with co-host Kristen Cruz. Hey, Kristen. And
Hello, Jen Barbie.
we are so super excited, so pumped up, so guts and glory ready to introduce you to our guest of season 2, episode 1 of Tech Travel and Twang, straight from the Jennifer Hudson show. Welcome to Alethea Crimmins.
Hi, hello everybody.
Hey,
How are y'all?
we're good.
We are so excited to have you. We are just
I'm excited to be here.
have you.
I'm excited to be here.
Good.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, we are really excited. For our listeners out there, Alethea will be keynoting at Desticon in January.
Yes, I'm so honored that y'all asked me.
Oh my gosh, we are so lucky and so blessed to have you. But I think we have to kick it off with the question that probably most people wonder when they see you is, girl, how did you become viral?
I became viral by just being my authentic, unapologetic self, which everybody told me that I should not be. But I decided that I was going to try something different because I never was myself. I was always a chameleon trying to fit in with everything and everybody.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, you know what? Let me try something different. Let me just be me. Let me just be me.
Yes.
And I put myself out there the way, and anybody who knows me, like knows me for real, knows that everything you see online is me in real life. Like I am loud in real life. I am outspoken in real life. I am like bubbly and energetic in real life. So like what you see is really me. Like it's not an act. Like people have seen me cry and all kind of stuff. So yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, I think that is like a big key to why it comes through that you're so genuine. This is just who you are. And I think a lot of people and even, in professional in the industry perspective of it are afraid to even become their authentic selves in their roles and their other pieces. And I think that's really interesting. How did you get over yourself or your nerves? Like, how'd you get there?
Little known fact, like I am to a certain extent a little shy, and that's why I do most of my videos in my car because I'm by myself. And there's nobody else there. It's just me and my camera. So it made me feel comfortable because I couldn't see anybody else. So it was just me. And I really felt like, because when you look at the camera, you have to look at yourself.
Yeah.
So I actually felt like I was giving myself a pep talk. So I just that's how I got over me and like over thinking, because I'm an overthinker. Like I overanalyze everything. Oh girl. So you can relate.
Girl. I hear you on that.
Yeah, it was hard at first because this was something like I said, this was something new. Being myself was something new. Because every time that I would get, oh well, you're too much. You're too loud. Could you just tone it down? Could you just not? So it made me not want to be me. So I was scared of shit. Like I was scared. Like how are people going to receive me? Because I didn't even know how to be me.
I think a lot of women feel that way in a lot of different places. We're told to be this, but not too much. To stand up for
Especially women.
ourselves. Yeah, I mean, I think that plagues, and it especially plagues our listeners in our industry, especially if you're in tech as a woman. Like, you have to play a different role, and when you just it makes a big difference. And I love that authenticity piece of it because I mean, obviously it's touched so many people too, with the kind of content you put out. And, it's just such a good story. I love it.
And
Yes.
little known facts, I don't. So people say I just love when you yell at me. So little known facts, I don't mean to yell, but I'm so passionate about what I do, and I'm so passionate about helping other people that when I start, the passion just takes over, and it's just like, and you and and I don't mean to yell, but that's just my passion. That's just how much I want you to be the best version of yourself. So it's like, look, we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. And that's just how it comes across.
Yes, but it comes across as passion. Like I don't see it as yelling at all, or like intimidating or too much at all. It gives you that energy. It comes through your content. Like you can feel the energy that you're putting out. So that I think is what's amazing. And I think what you said in the beginning, that chameleon status is so prevalent. Like so many of us try to be who we need to be based on who we're in front of, or where we are physically or mentally, or where we are in our careers. And it's a huge step to come out of that chameleon status and just be your pure self. Just to sit with yourself, even if you're sitting in your car, and doing this content, you are still looking at you. You're still having to be with yourself, which sometimes can even be intimidating. So I think
It
is.
It is.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Because I was always told since I was young, I was always told what I should be. I was always told, well, this is how you should be. You shouldn't be like this. I was told, because I stutter, I always have. It's gotten much better now. But I was told that I shouldn't talk too much because I stutter. Like you shouldn't talk too much. Like teachers would literally, like, I wouldn't know the answer, and when they would do like reading out loud, they would skip me because I stuttered. And it made me feel some type of way, like, God, like y'all don't even want me to talk. Because my stutter was horrible. And like my teachers would skip over me and go to somebody else because they didn't want me to speak.
But now,
so that was really hard.
How lucky are your students? Like, I wish you had been my kindergarten teacher, because honestly, like, what better to like take it that way? And it's so funny. That's, I know you and I have talked once before after I fangirled so hard, but that's actually something we have in common. I had a terrible lisp, and I kind of still do, but I had a really bad lisp. And when I was in school, I'm a little bit older than both of you guys, they made you go to speech therapy during certain classes. Girl, how many hours I spent holding a peppermint to the roof of my mouth?
Listen, listen. Yes, I can relate. Oh, I can relate, because I was in speech therapy, for forever. Yes, it helped, but it also made other people bully me.
Right.
Like, ooh, like she has something wrong. It was almost like I had like a disease. And people will find anything to make fun of you about. And I was teased, I was bullied a lot. So much so that I was in a shell for a very long time. And so I was like, I had this mentality, well, if I can't beat them, well, let me just try to be like them. And then maybe they would like me. And so I turned into, my addiction became people pleasing. That became my addiction. Let me do whatever it takes to make you like me, because then maybe you wouldn't tease me. If I was more like you, then maybe you would leave me alone. Well, that didn't work either. So.
And that's where some of that overthinking comes in, because that's a lot of
Mhm.
processing to get to that standpoint of who do I need to be for this person, and how is this person going to perceive me, or how am I going to check that box for that next person? That's where that overthinking begins to just accumulate in our lives.
Yes.
It does.
Even it's crazy. Even in my
It is.
family, like I'm the black sheep of the family because I'm different than everybody else. And different was always like, you shouldn't be different. You should be like us. And
Right.
I wasn't.
Definitely raised by the Southern Belle, you know, persona thing. My grandmother told my husband before she passed, she was like, this one right here, you can tell her whatever you want and she'll listen, but then she's going to do whatever the hell she wants to do. So I was kind of like, you know, but I think that's what the world asks for now. Maybe we're just ahead of our time, because, you know, the younger people who are working and having to do these sort of things and working with their bosses, they're not looking to put on a mask anymore. Like that's just not necessary. So I love that you're paving the way in your videos and your motivational speaking and what you're putting out in the world to let the next generation know it is absolutely imperative to be yourself.
It is.
Absolutely.
It really is. Like if like you want to dress like them and be like them and act like them, go ahead. But then nobody will know how unique you are. Nobody will know how special you are. Nobody will know that because you're so busy being everybody else, and take it from somebody who knows that nobody really knows the real you, the amazingness that is you. And people need to know it's okay to be weird. It's okay to be different. It's okay to be smarter than other people. It's okay. I was a nerd, and listen, it's okay. It's okay.
It is. And I think that's what people need to hear. They need to hear it's okay. Be yourself. It's
Because
okay.
we need permission. I mean, that's the other.
It does.
Yeah.
I mean, it's rough to have to like come to terms with that, but I feel like we're in a generation that needs permission. They need to feel like they're amongst others to be able to do what they feel like they need to do, or what they should do, rather than what they've been, you know, accustomed to doing. Because of society, or because of, you know, their environment. So I mean, Jennifer and I, we, you know, born and raised in Texas. And so we, you know, coming up through our careers, I think one of the things that we always struggled with was our like accent, like our Southern, we sounded like a couple.
I love it.
I mean, it was a lot, and we both struggled. I mean, I know I'd like hear myself on a conference call or on my own voice, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't take it.
Like me. You were like me. I'm just like,
and Jennifer would do the same thing, and we'd make fun of each other, and then we'd like try to alter a little bit and get a little more, you know, we put our call center voices on when we'd get on the phone, and then we'd get off and the twang would get hit, you know, and we embraced it. Like we literally added it to our podcast, you know. Like, it is,
and I love it. Oh, I love it.
We're not apologizing anymore.
Please don't. And I just love how you said that people need permission. Like we need to have permission, but what people need to understand is that you don't need permission from other people. You need to get permission from yourself to be yourself. Like I had to really allow myself to be me. And that's something that's very hard, to allow yourself, to give yourself permission to be yourself and nobody else.
That's just like the bravest, though. That's the top of the bravest of the brave. And what I love about what you put out, and why I share your content with literally everybody I know, is you give us permission. It's okay. If Alethea says it, we're good. Like I got permission.
Yes. Yeah. And that's what, especially women. And that's why I go so hard for us. I go so hard for us because people do not understand that we are some superheroes in our own right, every single day. The things that women have to endure, and they keep acting like we are the weaker species. No. So I go hard for us because I feel like women need to empower other women. Because if we don't have our backs, then who will?
Right.
I want to double down on what you said there, because for our tourism industry women, like, women make up 70% of the tourism industry, but the executives of women only make up 5%.
Right.
Because we're asking permission. And again, not like against the other sex, but like we have to give ourselves permission and then we can get up there.
Right.
And it's hard because it took me years. And when I first began to put this content out, I was like, okay, Alethea, just be you. It's just you in this car. It's just you. So just be yourself. Don't worry about the judgment. Don't worry about what anybody says. Just be you. And once I put out my first video of me being me, I didn't look at the comments for like 2-3 days.
Oh,
and
gosh.
I kept hearing ding, 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 and I was like, nope. Nope.
That is
I'm
some
not doing
strength,
it.
though, to not look at those comments. That is
Like
some
it was
strength.
extremely, because I was like, nope. Then when I finally did, in my overthinking mind, I just knew that somebody would say, oh, well, you're to this and you're to that, and we don't want to hear that, and we don't like that. But it was the total opposite. It was the total opposite. It was, thank you so much. I needed that. Oh my gosh, this is just what I needed. You just helped me get through my day. Where have you been all my life? Like, I was like, oh my God. And then something clicked for me. I was like, I can be for other people what nobody was for me.
That's amazing.
Like, I can be that person.
Love that.
And that's where this all started.
Yeah.
The world was just
That's
waiting
amazing.
on you. Now you know the world was like, are you gonna come? Show up. God, that was God telling you something. That's amazing.
I think I was waiting on me.
Yeah.
I think I was waiting on me. And to say that out loud, I think I was waiting on me to show up.
That's such a powerful
I know.
statement.
Like
I'm
I'm telling you.
Goosebumps.
Yeah, because sometimes we don't realize how much we need ourselves. So we're just waiting on us to the real genuine us is waiting to bust out because we've been keeping it under wraps for so long. And it's like, and every time we want to, somebody comes and says, and that's what I love about teaching children. They're so genuine. They don't care. They do not care what you think about them. They don't give a damn. It's like, I'm going to be me. And a lot of my content actually comes from my class. A lot of my content comes from watching them, because I had a student in my class. This little girl, when I tell you, there was nobody in the world that can tell her that she wasn't the baddest little chick in the whole listen. And every day she could have the same shoes on, the same hairstyle. Miss Steve, you like my hair? You think I'm pretty? Because I'm pretty, huh? Because I'm pretty. And I love that she thought so highly of herself. But then it made me sad, because it dawned on me that she's gonna feel like this until somebody tells her that she's not what she thinks she is. And it clicked in my head that was my issue. Because we are not born thinking negatively of ourselves.
Yeah.
We're not born that way. I tell people all the time, and people think I'm lying, but I'm telling you, I was a child, so I didn't know. I didn't know I was fat until somebody told me I was. I was like, oh, what? And the way that they said it made it sound like a bad thing. In my mind, because we went to church all the time, I thought that God made people in different shapes, sizes, and colors. So God just gave me a little bit extra, and I was fine with it. Until somebody said, that's not pretty. That's not, And so it made me second guess myself. And I was like, and it came from family members. They were like, you'd be so much prettier if you lost weight. You'd be so much prettier. And that resonated as, well, I'm not pretty right now, is what you're saying.
Yeah, absolutely. Same. Family members. Jennifer, you have such a pretty face. If you just
I got that all the time.
It's always, you have such a pretty face. If you only.
And so it's like you don't hear, it's like you hear it, but all you hear is
you're not good.
Well, you're not pretty because you're not skinny.
Yeah.
So in high school and in college, I did all the things that people do to get skinny. I had an eating disorder for quite some time because I was like, yeah, this is what I need to do because people say I'm ugly, so I need to not be ugly. So let me get small so I can not be ugly. That was my mindset. That was where, and people don't realize that you can just, it doesn't matter how you look because sexy has no size chart.
No,
it doesn't have a size chart. It doesn't have an age chart. Sexy is sexy, period. If you wake up every morning and think to yourself, God damn it, I am a bad bitch, then you are.
Right.
Then you are.
Right.
And it doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman because men can be a bad bitch too because a bad bitch is an attitude.
Yeah,
it's an attitude. So if you think bad bitch, you are bad bitch, period. That's just what it is.
Yeah.
And that changed my attitude. It changed everything about me because now my response is, oh, well, you'd be so much more attractive if you lost weight. First of all, I'm not trying to attract you. So, okay. I'm not trying to attract you at all. So I'm good.
It's their perception of what they think you should look like, but everyone's perception is different. Everyone's idea of what looks good or is skinny or is not or is sexy or is not is different. So your opinion is just that, someone's opinion. And as a young person, and as a young person, you don't understand that. Like you're just absorbing what people are telling you. And you're taking all that internally and trying to figure out who you are and who you need to be. Like the older we get, I think the more we realize how much of those, just a quick sentence, a quick comment, a certain glance, a certain thought affected us so much as young women. Like that we just really didn't realize the effect some of that had on us.
A lot. And that's why I try to be the voice that you hear, so that when you hear my voice, it becomes yours. It becomes yours. And that's why I ask you to say things with me or finish my sentence and say it out loud. Don't just say it in your head, say it out loud. Because the reason that we feel this way about ourselves is because we heard it over and over and over again. So now we have to speak it so you can hear yourself saying, I am enough. I am beautiful. And if you hear it out of your mouth in your words, eventually you're going to start to believe it. I told you the minute that I saw both of you on this screen that I thought that you were gorgeous. And I can tell you that 10 times a day. But if when you look in the mirror, you don't see it, it doesn't matter what I say because you don't see it.
Right.
Absolutely.
But if I tell you to tell yourself you are gorgeous, and if you say that every day for 2 whole weeks, I promise you that you're going to start to change how you feel about yourself.
And I love that inner narrative psychology you're talking about too, because if you think about it, even in the business aspect of things, when you get into anything, maybe you're younger, maybe you're older and don't think you can do it. Like you have this internal or external saying you have to be this or you have to be that. And I think especially the tourism industry, because it's such a fun and open industry, you can really do what you want. But I've heard, destinations who've held down their social media managers because no, you're just good at social media. Don't go to VP of conventions or don't try for something else. That's your pocket. So I think it translates, and we act as professionals like we never had a personal life, like we never had trauma, like we never actually had real things happen. And that I'd love to break through that thing. Like there's no human on earth that hasn't gone through something. It's not carrying.
That's actually why I am like I am.
Right. And I think it's that permission. Like I feel like our industry, Jen, is one of those industries that still needs that permission. It still feels like it's very hard. And this is why this is such an important component for Desticon for us. And we had to have, when we were planning Desticon, we thought we've got to figure out how to add this personal development, this series of content and discussions that open that door for that permission. It is okay to be good at your job and be the point person for a destination and do what you need to do and be stellar in your field and whatnot, and still talk about your journey to get there and the things that broke you along the way and what still hurts and what still prevents you from doing or being the best version of yourself. It's okay to still talk about that. But we as an industry, I feel like we still struggle to be collectively authentic with each other. It's not a huge industry that we're in. It seems like it may be huge, but it's really still very small in the realm of business industries. And so we still run into the same people, and we still try to, again, our chameleon status, we put our suits on, we put our professional faces on, we look like we have our shit together, but at the end of the day, it would be great to just be able to have those authentic conversations and hear the same people that you've been talking to for years in your industry go, you know what? I'm so glad you said that, because I'm struggling too. Like I'm really struggling.
Yes, because you never know. You never know what the other person is going through. And it's such a breath of fresh air when you hear somebody else and you're like, me too.
And you can breathe out. Like you can oh, I can breathe. Like okay, we can talk about this now. It's not an elephant in the room anymore. Like we can have a conversation.
Fueled me. Failure taught me, okay, you know what? I don't ever want to feel like this again. So what do I need to do to not feel like this again?
Right.
And I had to fail over and over and over again before I became the best version of myself. Because every time you fail, it's a lesson, but you don't truly fail unless you stop. So that failure was my fuel that kept pushing me and pushing me and pushing me so that I won't ever stop. So that I won't ever truly fail. So you fall and feel that feeling. Feel how that feels. And you're like, you know what? I don't ever want to feel like this again. So what do I need to do? What is it? And it's an attitude. I tell people to go into any situation with an already attitude. You walk in there like this is already yours. I went on a job interview, I kid you not, and they ask you, well, why do you think that we should hire you? And my answer was, why would you not hire me?
Yeah.
Why would you not? Because this is what I bring to the table. This is what I bring to the table. So why would you not want me on your team? And they were like, that is the best answer we've ever
I love it.
Most people are so uncomfortable being their own cheerleader because they make it feel like, you know, you have a big ego. I think there's a big misconception between confidence
It is.
and ego and narcissism. Like that's another thing. It's like thrown around like, you know, if I put myself first, then I'm a narcissist. And that's, I feel like overused.
I feel like that whole term has been exploited. Yeah, we have really taken that thing really far. And social media obviously like has played a part in that too. But I totally totally agree. I think that there is a level of confidence and there's that's necessary, and that's completely separate from, you know, this giant ego or narcissism in general or whatever you want to coin it. But it is, and I think Alethea, this is where your content and your vibe really shines through, is it is okay and more than okay to feel 100% confident in doing whatever you're doing and feeling okay with that. Be confident in your confidence. And I think people feel intimidated by people's confidence because they don't know how to come to terms with their own. They don't know how to be confident with themselves yet.
Because women cannot be confident. Oh, God forbid.
No.
God forbid that we think that we are the shit. Because what?
Yeah, and if you're confident about that, if you're confident about what you're saying and you put it out there and you expect others to step up to that same level, then you're a bitch, right? Like
right. There's exactly.
But this is a lesson again I learned in my classroom. Because one day we were doing artwork and I was busy helping other kids or whatever. And like when they would do something, I'd be like, oh my gosh, good job. I just love how you drew that picture. And there was a little boy and he kept trying to get my attention, but I was busy helping other people because he wanted that like praise too. And I heard him, but I was also doing other things. So all of a sudden, as loud as he could be, he was like, "Yay!" Yeah. I was like, "Wait, what is?" Then I realized he was like, "Well, you're not gonna clap for me. You're not gonna praise me. So guess what? I'm gonna do it myself." And he walked around the classroom, yay, yay, and he said his name. He was like, yay, and I was like, well, I'll be down. And that's how, because it's like, okay, well, I don't need. And at that moment, I was like, he didn't need my validation because he can do it himself. He didn't need me to praise him because he could do it himself. As women, sometimes we seek validation from other people to make us feel like we are somebody. You don't need that because you already are. You can validate. If you are not a car, you do not need validation. Because the only thing that needs validation is somewhere.
I need a shirt with that on it. I need something.
Because I don't need that, because we can validate ourselves without the help of anybody else. And that is what is so intimidating. Like, how dare you feel like you are above? No, you must think that I am, and that's why you are intimidated by me. But I will not dim my light in order for you to shine.
Right.
That's not how this works.
And I think that's what's going to be so amazing with our attendees for Desticon, is they're going to come away having permission for themselves, personally and professionally. And I think it really does start personally. Like, you know, it's been us making this leap in Desticon to bring personal development in there is a big risk, because, you know, most of the industry are like, okay, learn this, learn that, learn the trend, get your certification.
Chameleons. And they're comfortable in their chameleon status.
I want them
We
to
got
get
to make them uncomfortable.
uncomfortable. And I feel like that is what we're so excited about with you coming to Desticon is
Yes.
uncomfortable and give them permission. I am so pumped.
Yeah. And people are probably going to take some of the things that I say, like it's going to go against everything that they've been taught. Because as women, especially women, we've been told to fake it until you make it. I do not.
Gosh, yes.
And that's what I used to do. But now I face it until I make it. I face it because you can only be fake for so long. So I have an authentic Louis Vuitton purse. It is authentic. It's real. If I go buy a knockoff that looks exactly like this, in a few months, maybe a year, it'll only look like that for so long until it starts to show that it's not real.
Right.
You can only fake something for so long before the real you has to come out. But if you face it, then you don't have to be fake. You face it. You face that problem until you get where you need to be. You overcome that. You face your fear. You face what's holding you back. And that's how you make it. That's how you make it. It's not by being fake. Right. It's by being real. Face that fear. Face it head on. And that way you can prove to yourself, I did that. I did that. So when you make it, it'll feel so much better when you make it as yourself than when you make it acting like somebody else.
You took us to church.
I'm telling you, I'm over here like, I am really like thinking about my whole life right now. Like in every way.
Oh my gosh.
I'm so ready for Desticon. Let's get this going. Like this is Alethea, you are gonna bring such an element.
Thank you.
To this. I mean, this is such a necessary conversation on so many levels, but it hits everything that has to do with our industry, everything that has to do with what we do on a daily basis. As individuals, as people of teams, representing destinations, trying to get people in the door. I mean, it's so funny the way that you think about women, men, whomever, everybody, okay, within our industry. How we think about things that we have to do for ourselves individually as people who represent the marketing organizations behind it, but the destinations themselves and who they have to be to attract the right kind of visitor or the right kind of whatever. It almost feels like we are like opening the kimono, not just for our personal development, but how do we like get out of that chameleon status as destinations, right? Like, how do we get out of that? We have to be this and that and this and that to attract the right kind of person, but being authentic in our places that we market and the places we try to get people to, and uncovering and like this goes beyond even personal development. I feel like this is like a whole we're gonna change some things, Jen. Leave you on board. We are gonna change the game, okay?
Jen, when I first talked to Jen had said something like similar to what you just said, and I put a lot of thought into it, and it's just like, so these big companies, the bigger the company, the smaller you are, the smaller the consumer is, the bigger the company, because now that they only see you as a number, they want to get you in and out. So when you go to the doctor, if you go to the ER, where they're just trying to get you in and out. But when I go to a smaller clinic, now my doctor has a relationship with me. They ask me how I am. They explain things to me. They're not just seeing me as patient number 11225.
Right.
They know me as Alethea. And when Jen said, okay, well, you know, there's like bigger companies that are doing the same thing, that's fine. But people are going to come back to where they feel welcome. People are going to come back to where they feel respected, where they are heard.
Yeah.
Because people want to be heard. They want to be heard.
They want that, and that personalized experience.
And that's what y'all
have.
That's what makes y'all so different. That's what makes y'all so different and special. And when you told Jen, when you told me that you left a 6-7-figure job and you said, look, I'm gonna just go out and do my own thing. At first, like, okay, so my face speaks before my mouth does, and I was trying to not let it happen. I was like, she left for what? But you are the definition of what I speak on. You said, yes, I did leave a 6-7-figure job. And I know that people said you are crazy. Why? Why would you, what is wrong with you? Especially when you was like, okay, I'm gonna leave this and I'm gonna go start my own thing. They were like, girl, you're gonna be back. You're not gonna do it.
But I will say, this girl's the one that believed in me, that came along, ride or die. And it's like bigger than that. Like, I got sued starting out on my own. It was whatever.
Oh my gosh. But wait, before don't put the kudos this way. You're pointing this one, okay, did it first. She didn't have a partner in crime. She didn't have anybody that said, okay, we're going to do this together. I've got your back, you got my back. She went out by herself on her own. I followed behind because I believed in her, but she believed in herself first. She didn't need my validation. She didn't need me to tell, girl, go do that, and then I'll come. She did it on her own. So this one right here, that's why we are where we are today, because I tell her this. I tried to tell her this at least.
You made me cry on my own podcast, Kristen.
At least once or twice a year, maybe. I will remind her, Jen, if we weren't doing this together, I don't think I could do it on my own. I don't think I could. I need you to be me, and I need you to be us as a together unit. Like, I wouldn't have the confidence. I wouldn't, like, I feed from her. Like, she feeds me, my soul, my like confident, like, and sometimes we need that. Like, I can be confident on my own some days, but sometimes I'm only bringing 20 to 30% of that. And I feed on hers, and some days she feeds on mine. And man, we need that. Everybody needs to feel like they've got that support when they can't bring it all themselves. And
that's what we're building really with Desticon, though, is this like tribe of disruptors, of warriors who have each other's back. Because I didn't start because I was confident in myself. I started because I was going to prove somebody wrong.
Okay.
Straight up.
But she knew she was going to prove somebody wrong. That level of confidence.
And this is why I told you that you are the definition of be great in their face. That this is why you are the poster child for be great in their face. And Kristen, you gave the perfect definition of why I do what I do. Because some people don't have it all every day. They maybe have 20%, 30%, and they need somebody to give them that boost that they need to get to that 100. And people need to understand that it's okay to ask for help, and you need somebody who believes in you more than you believe in yourself at times.
Yes.
You need that person. You need that. And I'm so glad that y'all have each other. And look what y'all made. Like, look what y'all did.
Yes. And look who we're doing a podcast with. And look at what we're about to do with Des. Like, girls, let me tell y'all, 2024. We're not anywhere, we're not playing. And we are not anywhere where we know we can be. Like, our confidence collectively is more, it's bigger than us. It's just bigger than this whole conversation. Even like we and Alethea, you are a important part of our generation and how we as women are getting to that level of, I am going to do this. I can do this. Even if I fail, I'm going to talk about how I failed. And I'm not going to call it a failure. I learned a lesson. I learned how I want to do better at it, and I'm going to go for it. And we wouldn't have that level of confidence in that thought process without women like you, people like you, like really being who you are for us and for yourself. But for like, it's
thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Just think about when everybody gets to hear Alethea at Desticon, and just think about the ripple effects, not just on the women, not just on the men, on their team members, on their children, on their bosses. Like, this has to make, again, like additional benefits to it, which
yes. And I hope and pray that we have a slew of people in hearing this message and hearing this and thinking about maybe the roadblocks that they are putting up for their team or for the people in their life, like breaking down some of those barriers and rethinking about how you work together, how you treat your team members, how you help build other people within your organizations up to the level that, like, how I just, when you say ripple effect, yes, ma'am, like it is waves of yes. And this is, I feel this conference for us, Alethea, is, this is our second annual. We feel because it's virtual, we feel like people will loosen up a little bit and be able to truly collaborate and talk to each other. It takes that intimidation of having to like walk up to somebody that you don't know face to face and, hi, how are you doing? This is it already strips you of some of that chameleon status. Like, you can truly ask the questions you want to ask. You can truly talk about the topics that you're afraid to talk about in other areas. Like, we want this to be uncomfortably life-changing for this group of people.
Yeah.
Breakthrough. Yes. Breakthrough. You come out of this thinking, man, ooh, like it's life-changing.
I love it.
Personally and professionally.
Sometimes you have to be uncomfortable. Like, you have to be uncomfortable. Just think of how a pearl is made. Think of how
that's such a great analogy.
Like the way a pearl, like, it has to keep, and I know that it is uncomfortable, but look at what comes out in the end. Yes. Look at how every great thing is made, not just a pearl. Look at how a diamond is made. It's crushed. It's crushed. And people you have to look at yourself. I am a diamond. Yes, I've been crushed 1,000,001 times, but all that crushing is going to pay off. Because at the end, baby, I'm a diamond. Look at how you have to put fire. You have to burn it. You know how many times I've been burned in my life, but honey, I turned out golden. So you have to go through something to get to something. You have to go through it to get to it. Yes. And that's what we need to know and understand. Everything that you have to go through something. It even says so in the Bible. It says, yea, so I walk through the valley. It does not say that that's where we're going to stay. It says we're going to go through it, and we're going to come out on the other side glowing, like the bad bitches we are.
Yes.
Bad Bitches
Oh,
verse
I love
1,
this.
chapter 8. I love it. You did it.
Yes.
But I love that piece of it about going through it, because again, just whipping it back around to tourism, like COVID and natural disasters and political situations. It is something that's necessary for all of us to go through, to look at things a lot differently. So I love how the multiple applications, the layers, nuances of this fall through. But I do have to ask you
Yes.
something. Speaking of going through, what's the big next for Alethea?
Oh, the big next for me. Well, let me tell you, and you have actually kick-started my big next, believe it or not. Because the plan for me in 2024, as much as I love what I do, teaching is what I do, but motivational speaking is my passion and it's my purpose. It's what I was put here to do. And you're actually kickstarting that, because I said that this is what I wanted to go into 2024. This is what I wanted. This is where I want. And I was like, oh my God, here comes Jen.
And Jen heard you somewhere through the universe. She heard you.
I manifested you.
Yes.
Crazy. Kristen can
That's
tell you, it's like a
insane.
calling. I have been like, you've been on like, she could do this and she could do that. I felt like just talking to you has been a calling. So I'm super excited about that journey for you. But I mean, hey, I don't feel bad either, from the Jennifer Hudson show to the Jennifer Barbie show. I mean,
which is still wild to me. It's still crazy to me. And if this is not a message for anybody watching this, anybody hearing this, all you have to do is be yourself, and amazing things will happen. Never would I have ever thought that I would be on national TV, all because I was me. All because I stopped being what everybody told me I should be. All because, okay, wait, first, before I say what I want to say, I need to know what I can and cannot say on this podcast.
you say whatever you want.
Say whatever you want.
All because I learned the power of FTP. When I learned the power of FTP, my life just changed. And FTP stands for fuck them people.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Fuck what you think about me, because the only opinion that matters is my own. When I learned the power of that, and that I didn't need it, I'm good being me. It got me on national TV. So just imagine what being yourself, being you, got you your own company. Like, just being you, stepping away from what people told you that you should be, and saying, you know what? Let me do what I want to be. Let me do what I want to do. Absolutely. And as women, let us do what we want to do.
Yep.
Do what you love. If you're not in a place where you love what you do what you love, and amazing things are going to happen. Be yourself, and amazing things are just going to happen. You won't have to go looking for it. You won't have to hear people say, what do you have to bring to the table? Bitch, I am the table.
Yes.
I am the table. So, I mean, I don't need to bring anything to you, because I am, in fact, the table.
Yeah. The whole thing, the whole package.
As is.
Yeah.
My gosh, right, Kristen?
I could stay on here all day, all night. I can clear my whole calendar. Look.
But we're so excited, and we're so blessed. And I think it's going to be amazing. We're also, shouting out a lot of small businesses we're supporting during this. We're going to have swag and giveaways, gamification. So if you go to Alethea's session, you get extra points so you can win
Mm.
body candles. We have lots of other fun things on there. So we are so pumped and so blessed.
I'm
But
ready.
I do want to
I'm
ask,
so ready too.
how did you come up with your catchphrase catch lines?
So, I came up with this because of my children. One in particular. So I used to allow people to bring me back to a place where I didn't want to be. I used to allow people to make me upset because I realized they didn't make me mad. I made me mad. I allowed people to make me upset. I allowed people to do things to get under my skin. And I wouldn't let the moment be the moment and just feel that feeling and then like Elsa that shit and just let it go. I just I kept it all day.
Yeah, just sat
So
with it.
yeah. So one day, a coworker, as soon as I walked in the door, pissed me off. And I was literally upset the entire day because every time I looked at her, it just got me even more upset.
Yeah.
It just pissed me off even more because I didn't sit with that and I didn't let the moment be the moment. I just kept it the entire day. When I came home, my son had been working extremely hard on a subject that he was failing at. And he could not wait to show me that he got an A on his test. He could not wait. But because I was already, I allowed for somebody to mess up my day and I didn't let the moment be the moment. When I walked in, I was still upset. And he was like, Mom, look at, and I was like, look, Jalen, later on, just later, the look on my son's face was like I just rolled over his dog. And I was like, oh my gosh. And I felt so bad. And it's something that I couldn't fix because I'd already done it.
Yeah.
So because I allowed somebody to mess up my day, it trickled over to my family. So from then on, I was like, you know what? You cannot allow people to do this to you. You have to be intentional about having a good day on purpose. You have to be intentional about having a good day. You cannot allow anybody to mess up your day at all. And if they do, let the moment be the moment, sit in it, but do not let a bad moment turn into a bad day. Because not only does that affect you, it affects everybody else around you. And you can't fix that.
Right.
Because once it's done, it's done. So just think if I would have just let the moment be the moment and came home and was like, yeah, son, you did awesome. That would have made his day. So now I affected his whole entire night.
Yeah.
That's why we need to have a good day on purpose. Because when you allow people to take your peace, they're going to do it. When you allow people to steal your joy, they're going to do it. If they piss you off, sit in it, but let the moment pass.
Yeah.
Then continue having a good day on purpose. Because we deserve to have a good day on purpose.
Yeah, we do.
Because it not only affects us, it affects other people around us. That's where that came from. And be great in their face. It came from people that told me that I couldn't do it. It's from people that told me that because I stutter, I would never be able to do what I'm doing right now. So it's for my haters. Hi, y'all. So that's where the be great in their face came from. Like, I do not block my haters. I let my haters see me.
Yeah.
Because I learned the most amazing acronym for haters. It's having anger towards everybody reaching success. Bitch, I'm successful. That's why you're upset with me. I'm successful. I'm on a level that you're not on. That's why you're mad at me. And I receive your anger and let it fuel me to even be greater.
Mm.
Oh, hi guys.
I know. Kristen Alethea inspired me to quit blocking them and just let them see me win.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because you cannot slow down just because they can't catch up.
Right. Right.
I love it. Oh my
And
gosh. What an incredible and inspired conversation. And I know our listeners are super excited about Desticon.
Yes.
So can I
Mhm.
ask you to take us out with your catchphrase?
Of course. So everybody listening and watching right now, I need you to know that no matter what you go through, do not let your current situation be your final destination. Know that you are everything and everything is you. Know that you are the shit, the whole shit, and nothing but the shit. So you go out there and be great in their face, but also be great in your own. And as always, have a good day on purpose.